Hello, my name is Martin de Saul and I teach on our Library and Information courses. I'm also the programme leader for our Postgraduate Information Management Awards. At the University of Brighton we've been teaching Library and Information courses for over 60 years, and our staff have a wealth of both academic and practical experience from both the private and public sectors. This short video will introduce you to some of our staff, also some of our students, and show you the campus and the facilities that we use to deliver our courses. I hope you find it interesting but also informative.
As the head of the Division of Information and Media Studies, my job's to kind of look after everybody in the division, and that's both the staff who work here and obviously the students and all our courses and our research activities. The two master's programmes we have in Library and Information Management are an MA in Information Studies, which is what's called a conversion course. So it's for students who have a degree in another area and want to get a first professional qualification. The other course we run is an MSc in Information Management, and that's a continuing professional development course. It's led by my colleague Martin de Saul, and we've recently revalidated it and slightly changed the emphasis of it to make it very much addressing the needs of the current needs of library and information professionals, library and information managers. So we've got modules, for example, things like innovations in online information and developing digital collections. So the kinds of things that practitioners are really having to get to grips with at the moment in their everyday working practices. And what we try and do with that degree is make it as flexible as possible. So it's a semi-distance learning degree. And you do study preparation before you come. There's an intense, usually around 3 days contact time where you're here, and that we think gives you kind of the best of both worlds. You're very supported with study packs and our virtual learning environment sort of before you come and after you come. But what you really get in the 3-day intensive part is you get the opportunity to network and discuss ideas both with us, and we've drawn on our kind of research expertise and interest in developing these modules, so we're something of experts in the field. And then also we're drawing on your expertise because you're out there doing those kinds of jobs. So you get to talk to other library and information professionals. So we get really good level of debate and kind of quality interactions in those 3 days. So I think it really is a kind of best of both worlds situation, really. You're not isolated and on your own, but it's a manageable amount of time to come and study.
Well, I think it's a really interesting field. I've been a secondary teacher for about 10 years, and so I was really looking for a career change. And it's something that's always been in the back of my mind. It's something I thought that I would come around to. And I'm really pleased to be doing it now rather than when I first thought of it, which was about 10 years ago, because things have changed so much, and now we're looking at cataloguing the web. And so it's just a really good time to be involved in this field, and I think there's just lots of opportunity at the other end of it. Well, it's been a very steep learning curve, especially this module that we've just studied, Information Services for the Web, because a lot of us came to the course thinking we might go into library studies, and the scope of skills that we've learned sort of extend far beyond that. So I think that's been surprising and really rewarding.
When we spoke with Annie, she had just finished a group presentation for one of her modules. Students are encouraged to work together to share knowledge and learn important skills such as presenting information and discussing their research findings with fellow students and lecturing staff.
There's a range of ethical issues arise both from the very generation of information to its final distribution and consumption. So issues around intellectual property, plagiarism, for example, data protection, privacy, surveillance, and so on. So all those are both, at one level, generic questions that they relate to society as a whole, but even more pointedly, perhaps, for information professionals who are seen as to some extent, as the custodians of information.
One of the reasons is that there are some particularly interesting developments in relation to sort of health, in relation to information and information management in the health sector. It's a massive sector. And there's obviously a massive problem, if you like, with managing information safely and sensibly in the health service. And there's also been a huge push recently from the government to improve upon the way in which information is managed in the health service. And part of that is the whole national programme for information technology, the whole centralised programme for implementing IT in support of information management and service delivery ultimately, and improved patient care ultimately. However, within all that, there's some really interesting questions to be had about whether a big centralised programme like that can actually deliver in all situations to the very localised and very specific and contextual nature of healthcare work. So one of the things that the whole course tries to look at, but particularly the module I teach, which is Information, Communication and Technology in Healthcare, is tries to look at the policy and the sort of major programmes that are being introduced by government and compare that with sort of on-the-ground, real-world situations in healthcare and try to look at the fit, really, between what's being pushed as an answer to the problems and what's likely to work in a local context. And one of the great things about that programme is that we're able to combine sort of theory and understanding with some real practical examples of what's going on in healthcare at the moment, because we've got very good links locally with practitioners in the healthcare service.
Our courses are delivered at the Moulsecoombe campus in Brighton, which offers a range of services for students, including restaurants, cafes and coffee bars catering for all tastes. There is also a well-stocked Blackwell's bookshop. The library of the Moulsecoombe campus offers access to our extensive collection of books and periodicals. Students may also access library resources such as online journals via the internet from home. For students requiring a quiet space to study, there are also study rooms that can be booked in advance. This year, we opened a dedicated postgraduate computer pool room, which is used for teaching and for collaborative work between students.
A very real part of my job, and it's very useful to me to know about what new things are out there that can be used at work and shared around to make the use of all the data that's certainly out there for health services more useful. So I think this course helps me to apply that knowledge back in the workplace, very much so, and for that reason I'm very much enjoying it.
We're a pretty informal bunch as well. We're fairly, we've got a fairly laid-back approach to things, I suppose, and that doesn't undermine the fact that we take what we're offering very seriously. We take ourselves as professionals very seriously, but I think it's also fair to say that we're very sort of friendly and welcoming and generally just a nice bunch of people. So I think what our students find when they come here is they're not in great big anonymous groups of students. They have very good contact with each other. They have very dedicated and committed and enthusiastic staff. They get to know us really well. We're sort of all part of a collective endeavour, if you like, which is that we're all motivated by the same things. We're interested in the library and information world, both as practitioners and professionals and as students of that. And I think we've got a really good kind of climate and atmosphere for that.
Yes, I would recommend this course to anyone who definitely wants to be an information professional.
I would say go for it. You know, you never know what you can do until you try, and it sounds like such a silly soundbite, but it's true. You know, just go for it. It's great.
So whether you want to begin a career in library and information management, or you're already an experienced information professional, at the University of Brighton we have the course for you. For more information, call or email me, Martin de Saul, or visit our blog, informationmatters.net. I look forward to hearing from you.